Hello, dear friends. History is never kind to impostors. True artists endure. The rest fade into oblivion. Poet Dog. Opinion piece. Digital soldiers. Hidden hand. Energy flow. Internal change. Let's start. Stella, just in time, offers a message of encouragement to digital soldiers. People who research, disseminate, translate, archive, or maintain information on the internet. She believes that many of them are exhausted by invisible work, censorship, financial pressure, and emotional strain, and that simply enduring is no longer enough. She also suggests that the next stage must be different, moving from resistance to construction. Stella insists that these people need rest, health, support, resources, recognition, and fairer structures, and that they shouldn't continue to confuse burnout with loyalty. Just in Time lists four main wounds of this group: finances, health, hope, and fear. For each, she proposes practical solutions such as a fair exchange, taking care of one's body, setting small, realistic goals, and treating emotional suffering with kindness. She then presents a code of conduct for these information workers that includes protecting their bodies, sharing without causing panic, respecting privacy, and building support networks and lasting projects instead of living only in constant reaction. Her central idea is that those who sustained the information for years shouldn't be forgotten in the rebuilding phase, but rather integrated into it with rest, dignity, and support. Hidden hand. According to Laura Aboli, a hidden wealth power seeks to awaken Christian civilization and replace it with an order based on materialism, debt, and perpetual conflict. Thus, power has supposedly shifted from monarchs and governments to creditors, industrialists, and invisible financiers. The three main instruments of this power are finance, revolution, and information. She asserts that debt serves as a form of control, that social chaos allows for the erasure of collective memory, and that public opinion is the primary battleground. Transition. Cryon explains that external reality is being transformed and that this change reflects a deeper internal transformation. He also says that many people are going through a stage of uncertainty, fear, or grief over what they have leaving behind. Therefore, he recommends acknowledging these emotions without judgment and releasing them to make space for a new stage. Cryon presents this process as a transition to a different consciousness, with greater clarity and inner freedom. The process of ascension or spiritual evolution does not depend on a single way of experiencing it. He invites each person to imagine how they want to experience this change, centered on their own inner truth. The central idea is that the old is crumbling away, allowing something new to emerge. Liberation. As the light of the one infinite creator permeates the universe, it dispels the shadows, revealing the truth and essence of all things, according to the Council of Andromeda through Celia Wilder. This flow of luminous energy is neutralizing the dark spells cast upon humanity. This reflects the energetic shifts occurring in the collective consciousness. As more people awaken to their inner truth, control diminishes, leading to collective liberation. Humanity's awakening is causing the collapse of imposed narratives. The collective consciousness begins to question, search, and discern truth from illusions. This awakening is not a passive event, but an active process of reclaiming sovereignty. As people recognized their divine origin and their inherent connection to Source, they begin to see beyond the veils of deception. This clarity allows for the dismantling of false narratives and the emergence of a more authentic collective history. Although these forces may attempt to escalate conflicts or create new challenges, their efforts are becoming increasingly ineffective. Humanity's collective consciousness is evolving beyond the reach of these manipulations. The more light intensifies, the more powerless these forces feel, and their influence is directly proportional to collective ignorance and fear. Jason Rice speaks of a great biological entity called Charlie, with whom he worked at Area 51. He denied having had contact with him, but described a direct working relationships. The Japanese government admits it possesses data on identified aerial phenomena, including video recordings, and states it will begin public disclosure within the limits of its national security. MOTS, M-O-T-S, are codes or messages inserted to influence how people think, feel, and react. It's not just the words that matter, but the hidden effect they produce. That's why Greg Reese frames them as a tool of deeper influence, linked to language, psychology, and power. Deconstructing the Matrix. The Earth's core is a divine design. Malevolent beings attempted to use it for their own purposes, manipulating and depleting it for thousands of years. They failed. Many crystals and energy computers placed there by Elohim of the 12th dimension are now being activated for this great shift toward the next stage of humanity's evolution, according to Keshe. Praveen Mohan explores the symbolism of serpent gods, subterranean guardians, and forbidden temples as part of an occult tradition present in various cultures. He connects these figures to hidden knowledge, access to the underworld, and sacred areas guarded by mythical beings. Behind these narratives lies an ancient memory of power, protection, and spiritual secrets. Predictions. Daria Mironova shares wealth predictions with Nikki Monick about humanity's awakening, the fall of old structures, and the significant changes marking this year 2026. She describes reality as a matrix or game in which humans have forgotten their true nature as divine beings. In her view, humanity is in the process of awakening and transitioning from 3D to 4D and 5D. She predicts a collapse of the financial and control system, a major solar flare that will activate consciousness, revelations about open source technology, extraterrestrial presence, and hidden truths. She emphasizes that fear blocks, while living from the heart, with coherence and love, raises vibration and protects. She addressed indigo and crystal children as beings with natural abilities for the new era. She speaks of a coalition of worlds observing people respecting free will, ships that regulate energy, and a galactic meeting. It recommends personal energy sovereignty, meditation, not giving power to intermediaries, and maintaining inner light in the face of change. She concludes with a message of cosmic unity, reminding us that human beings are infinite consciousness and that 2026 marks a point of no return toward a new era of freedom and connection. Dystopias. In China, citizens need a biometric digital ID, verified by facial recognition cameras to leave their residential areas. Digital ID system for the UK. Money, travel, medical records, and the daily lives of every citizen are now connected to the government's tracking network, according to Ethan White of K-Stellar. Davos Forum founder Klaus Schwab told delegates at a meeting in China that humanity must be forced to collaborate with globalist entities. He asserted that the elite must impose their agenda to drive the fourth industrial revolution. According to Professor Yang Shuiqing, the plummeting fertility rate may not be because people have forgotten family values or because modern life has become too expansive, but because the population has gained reproductive autonomy for the first time in history. According to the White files, humanity was created through genetic engineering, designed to be slaves of a race of vastly superior beings who descended from the heavens. Eventually, the slaves rebelled, and our masters attempted to destroy us with a great flood. According to Bennett Ross, life is a reflection of deeply held beliefs, hopes that never end, unspoken fears, unwavering expectations, bold intentions, and persuasive emotions. Live your days vibrating as if you already have it, and the outside world will respond accordingly. Your energy will reach you. While the world is gripped by hysteria and alarm, you relax, says Sophia Love. The simple act of containing incoming energy acts as a stabilizer for others. If before they avoided you because you seemed strange or different, now they will seek you out for your stability, your strength, and the peace and comfort you radiate. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.